Hello, people of the internet. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. We are going to get straight into things. We're going to have the third installment of NMIXX's Fe3O4 series of albums. So we have the latest installment, Fe3O4 Forward, to check out. I mentioned a little bit about my thoughts and opinions on the previous two. Fe3O4 Break is... as of right now, I haven't listened to the album yet, but as of right now, Fe3O4 Break is my favorite NMIXX complete work that they have done. I think that album is spectacular front to back. Fe3O4 Stick Out, while I personally prefer Break over Stick Out, also has literally my favorite NMIXX B-side they've ever done in Love Is Lonely. Love Is Lonely is such a good song. It was my favorite NMIXX song that they dropped on that album, and is my favorite B-side that they've ever done. And you saw how much I love like Boom and Run for Roses. I love Love Is Lonely. In fact, it's a theme I use on Superstar JYP because it's also just a great selection of cards. Any hoosers, Fe3O4 Forward. What I'm trying to get at is, whatever is going to be on this album, I am ready for musical weirdness, but also ridiculously high musical quality and at least one major B-side banger on here. Those are my three wishes, and I bet we're gonna get those. I'd say I'll put my entire life savings on it, but I really don't have that much because broke college boy. Any hoosers, let's jump into it. We are using color-coded lyric videos. I can only apologize if they are incorrect. I figured it'd be a little bit more engaging for you and for me if we used it rather than the official visualizers. Admittedly, when I did Exterior Heroes yesterday, I completely forgot the lyric videos were a thing. It goes to show how out of practice I am. But if they're incorrect, or if there's any incorrect things that I happen to just incidentally point out, I can only apologize. Although at this point, I do feel like I should be able to know who's singing where. Like, I've listened to enough NMIXX to be able to spot who's singing where, so we're just gonna keep her moving. I do see on the Reddit thread that there's a highlight medley. If it's acapella, I might have to take a listen to that later. Probably in my own time, mainly because I don't want to spend another 30 minutes over an album sampler that's 3 minutes long. So, track number 1, High Horse, lyrics by Kim Suji of Lala Studio and PH1. Oh, what up, bud? Okay. Composition, Yumin Collapstone. Good to see that familiar face. I believe we covered a whole bunch of Collapstone stuff yesterday in Exterior Heroes, I think. Beer, Julius Rodriguez, Fredro Odezo, with Newman Collapstone and Fredro Odezo on arrangement. Some familiar names, some new ones. Acoustic piano to open.
Sick of that high horse, I just can't take it no more.
Whoa, hello. A little bit loud. Okay, yeah, we're already weird. We're getting weird with it. Faye vocally is feeling herself on this album. Even after 1.5 songs. Oh! Good Lord, Kyujin, what? Oh my goodness, hold on, lock in, bud, lock in here. Interesting that the song doesn't have a whole lot of movement in terms of pitch. And then we're back to this. acoustic bass in there too? Okay. Wow, this song takes you on a journey, doesn't it? Here's the thing, I'm pretty sure this is the pre-chorus, but I can't really tell where the chorus is in this song because it's everything is happening. I'm getting ZB1 road movie flashbacks again. And we're back to this again. Oh my god, it really is road movie all over again. Holy moly! Okay, two things. This album already, we're 2 songs in, you know, if you include Know About Me, the title track, we're 2 songs in. This album's weird. It's a good kind of weird. 2, holy whiplash. And not the Espa kind of whiplash. This is... The thing about High Horse, and I kept referring to Road Movie towards the end there, but ZB1's Road Movie off of their Cinema Paradise album last year had one of the prettiest vocal choruses, if you want to call it that. It's the kind of vocal chorus that would send you to heaven. It was so pretty. It had all this really nice reverb to it. It twinkled, it soared. But then they offset it with kind of just straight rap. And it's the whole contrast of it, that hard end, like that kind of rap flow, and then all of a sudden, so now I would care 다른 차원. Like, I'm definitely not doing that part justice by trying to sing it, but you get my point. It's this okay, really hard beat, all of a sudden transcending to a different plane of existence. High Horse kind of gives me that, but like not as strong of a contrast, but it gives me more of it. It's like microdosing on whatever substance to just kind of like ascend in a way, and it's weird. It's so cool though. And the thing is, we been knew that NMIXX can sing, right? Like, they had their Tiny Desk concert, they've done acapella highlight medleys for God knows how many albums now at this point. What, they've done it for 4 or 5 albums now? Did they do it this time around too? I have no idea. I haven't actually listened to it yet, and it just says original version on the Reddit thread, so I don't know if it's acapella or not. But we been knew that they could sing. They were singing on this, especially Bae and Kyujin. Oh my goodness, where did you pull those voices out? Because it was, Kyujin, especially on that first. Is that the pre-chorus or is that the chorus? I still don't know what the song structure for this song is, but Kyujin let it rip vocally on this, and that was very fun to listen to. And I also know that she was supposed to be on a Limujin service, but thanks to label disputes and stuff, she had to do it on her own, which is really sad. I haven't listened to it or watched it yet, but do know that that's a thing. And I know that she's more than capable vocally of holding her own, but that was a different kind of Kyujin we heard on that track, and that was very nice indeed. But High Horse is a song where you can't get comfortable listening to it. Is you're feeling the vibes, oh, it's super pretty, all of a sudden, boom, we're switching into a different gear, and then once you get used to that, boom, different gear, and that again, and again, and again, it keeps cycling. It keeps you engaged, that's for sure. Right, we are gonna skip track 2, because track 2 is the title track. We've spent time on that. We're gonna go straight to track number 3. Title Slingshot. Less than star icon. Interesting title. Lyrics by Reisner153 Dream Boss Danke, Oh Hyun Sun Lala Studios, Sian of Artifact. Composition: Strong Dragon from the Hub, Jolly, Frankie Day from the Hub, and Aston. Strong Dragon from the Hub and Jolly on arrangement. Good to see some familiar names. Familiar labels, but new faces. Very interesting. Here we go. It's short, isn't it? 2:28, not very long.
Slingshot, hit the limit, don't stop. High speed, I'm a slingshot.
What's the meter here? Is that?
So hot. High speed, I'm a slingshot. Aim up, ain't no stopping me.
It is in 4, okay. Whoa! Holy modulation in the background. Hello, vocal harmonies.
Don't stop. High speed, I'm a slingshot.
So is this gonna be the trend of the album then? We're gonna just switch it up all the time. Oh my goodness. Major? I am not awake enough for this. Oh my goodness. Hold on. Hello, Far East Movement. What? Oh my god. What is happening? We're 3 songs in. My brain hurts. What is happening? Okay. I see now. You know what? I asked for the album to be weird. Forgive my language. This is fucking weird. And it's a whole ass experience. Oh my goodness. Slingshot. I thought High Horse was weird. I thought Know About Me was weird. Slingshot really is like... Slingshot is the musical equivalent of being the projectile within the slingshot. Pull it back and you launch it. And you know when you can't really use a slingshot all that well and it doesn't shoot out and but it comes back? It's like that. And I'm back. And I've been snapped back. I'm disoriented. I've been thrown all over. Huh? I'll be honest, usually I complain about a song being, you know, sub 2.5 minutes. I'm kind of glad this one's on the shorter end because I don't think my brain could process 3.5 minutes of this. Low vocal Solyun, love to hear. Good to see you again, Miss Ma'am. Hey, NMIXX, low range NMIXX vocals kind of hit a little bit different for me. I always mention whoever is doing the low tone or whoever is covering, I guess we'll call it the bass tone in the acapella medleys. I always wondered who it was, and it's usually like 2 or 3 different voices, but my ears always go to the low end. So to get, you know, low end vocals on a song, on an NMIXX song, I'm always gonna approve of that. But man, oh man, is this album a trip? It's like we're going rhythmic, we're going with the bounce, and all of a sudden, major, bright, big vocal moment, and then we're gonna ramp it up. It's like there's 4 different songs in this, and yet it all works. And I feel like there's only so many groups that could pull it off, and NMIXX being one of them. I have to see. I have the album third pulled up on the side. I have to see what are people most experimental. Yeah. I mean, we're not even halfway through the album, and I could 100% see it. You know what? I won't read too much, just to not spoil myself. But this album, I am like, it might be almost 2 p.m. I am not awake enough for this. It doesn't help that I'm super out of practice either. Like, oh man, I was not prepared for this. Okay. Weirdly though, it's kind of like the boom effect from Fe3O4 Break. It's really weird. It's really out there. It's not the type of music I would listen to. But Slingshot is that. It has just the right amount of weird to kind of push it up a little bit. But you know what? Let's keep her moving. Track number 4, Golden Recipe. Oh my goodness, the credits list is so long. Lyrics by Kim Sung-hyun of Artifact, Mud the Student, Park Sung-hee of Jam Factory, Kim Min-jung of La La Studio, Choi So-yul of Artifact, Donna Kim of Artifact, and Caddy of 153 Jumbus. Composition, Ryan S. Jun and Dwayne Dem Joints Abernathy Jr. Wow. Candice Pillay and Ido Najar with Ryan S. Jun, Dem Joints, and Ido Najar on arrangement. Ryan S. Jun and Dem Joints on a track. Let me tighten the in-ears real quick. Hello, strings. Come again? What is happening? Holy dissonance in verse 1. Oh my goodness, what is happening? This part, what is... This part, I feel like the vocal and strings make sense how they go together. When the beat's there... Whoa. And then, major! I do appreciate the vocal harmony though. I'm always here for vocal harmonies. This part. Hello, major again. Okay. Yeah, there's a lot to talk about on this. I feel like this is gonna be me the whole album. Wow, this is... My classical brain is screaming right now. Is this? It's right here that's really throwing me. Okay. Okay, let's talk. Let's talk about that one. Let's talk about that one. Holy balls indeed. They are like superseding every single time I think it can't get weirder than this. It gets weirder. And every time it's like no chance it's gonna get weirder than this. It gets weirder. And it gets weirder. What? I feel like I've just been like 3 rounds in the boxing ring after that. But that one part, here's the thing. It's got a lot of things that I should like. It's got the strings. I was a violin player growing up. I resonate whenever there's strings involved with a K-pop song. And to be fair, there's parts in the song where I think the vocal and the strings go really well together, especially when that main hook comes in. Golden recipe, and when like the vocals are in harmony and you get the strings behind it. I think that's a really cool combo. It's the section before then, when you've got the 808 rumbling, you've got the vocal kind of providing the other vocal beat section, and then you've got the strings in the background. And sonically, it doesn't fit. It's like the strings are doing one thing, the vocal and the trap 808 are doing another thing, and they don't really mesh together for me. They mesh together later in the song, but that one section is like, it's almost like they're in 2 different keys. And it just, oh, I genuinely cannot articulate what Golden Recipe is doing to me. You know what? I'd be really curious to see what this looks like on sheet music. Because I'm convinced that the violin and the 808 are not in the same key as each other. And if they are, there is something, like there is some black magic wizardry going on that is giving it the weirdest dissonance I think I've ever heard in a K-pop song. And I've listened to some weird K-pop songs. Not like quirky weird, I mean like compositionally weird. But Golden Recipe just might take the cake for that. Okay, you know what? I'm not gonna ruminate on that too much. We're just gonna keep moving to track number 5, titled Papillon. Papillon. Who else did a song called Papillon? Didn't Want Us do a song called Papillon? Or was that an album name? I forget. Either way. Lyrics by Hyungun of PNP, Danka Nogum of Artifact, J14 of Full Bloom, Ellie Soo of 153, Jumbas Anji-soo of On Klasa, Jongho Jam Factory, Jin Kyung of Artifact, 329 of PMP, and SZA. SZA ends on composition, ends on arrangement. Now, I have read very good things about Papillon, so I'm very excited about it. Although I do see that it's one of the shorter songs on the album, and that makes me sad. But here we go. Oh, we are not holding back, are we? Man, the soundstage for this too is huge. So we're gonna ride this slow beat again, okay. Cool expanding chord there at the end. Hello, double time too. Holy, okay, ramp it up one time, Jew, okay. Hit the brakes, okay. Hello, low vocal NMIXX. They love playing with the speed on this one. But there is an extra amount of production work going on in this. That's, I almost want to say it's like unprecedented levels of production going on in this. At least for NMIXX discography. Yeah, that had some work done for it. There is a lot of very little details that have been put in, a lot of little work that's gone in behind the scenes to make that song work. And it's honestly, for me, again, as weird and experimental as it might be, I actually quite like the high amount of production work in this. It kind of makes the song for me in a way. I'm trying to think, like, what's the best way I can articulate this, but the production never felt like it was overdoing it for me, especially once you get the digital work creeping into the vocal side of things. Like, I've never been the biggest fan of auto-tune when it comes to music in general, especially if it's an artist that I know can sing without it. I always find, like, was it necessary to put the auto-tune in? And sometimes stylistically it makes sense. With Papillon, the work that's gone into it in terms of like the vocal side of things really feels like it's meant to be there. Like, it's not, they haven't forced any digital vocal work into it just for the sake of having it in the song. Like, it all works with whatever's happening to the song around it. And then in terms of the song itself, you have all the kind of playful meter changes going on where you're going double time into half time. There's a little section where you ride a kind of in-between section. The feeling of the speed in the song where, you know, sometimes it's got that really slow, almost sluggish, slow 4-beat. And then all of a sudden, now we're running. We're sprinting along to the song. The fact that it gives and takes, it comes and it goes, and that happens for the entirety of the song, is really cool to me. Because for me, it never felt like they, you know how sometimes when people learn how to do something and they just go in it and way overdo it? I don't get a feeling of that at all. And I mean, of course, they're professionals doing, like, working on the song. They're not going to overdo it. But it felt like they were tweaking the song at the right amounts, at the right times for me. And maybe it's because, you know, we're 5 songs in on them. What I would say is one of the more out there K-pop albums that I've covered, full stop. And I've gotten a little bit more used to all the weird, quirky switch-ups and things that's happening. But with Papillon, it does feel like a cohesive project now. Like, they're really leaning into just tweak a little bit here and there. Just a little bit, not too much. It's not like there's 7 different songs in here. It still feels like one song. It's just, we're gonna go double time, we're gonna go half time. I wouldn't be opposed to hearing more of this, or more of stuff like this where, you know, they really just play around with the music. Cool. And that leaves one final song, track number 6, Ocean, lyrics by Yoon Hwa, 153 Junbas, Park Sitting of Lala Studio, John of XYCX, Lee Ji-yeon of Jam Factory, Jung-eun-gi of Lala Studio, and Cho Yuri. Composition, Tommy Park, Chris Wall, Emily Middlemiss, Hot Boy Rich, with Tommy Park and Chris Wall on arrangement. We're bringing back the keys. I'm preparing myself for a big switch up again. Now this one really does lean into the kind of gentle rocking swaying motion that, you know, an ocean would have, a calm ocean would have. Oh! This one's pretty. This one's real pretty. And the fact that it's very straightforward, it's a very nice, gentle way of kind of, you know, bringing the album back down. Verse 2. Hold on. It wasn't gonna be simple with NMIXX, was it? Why did we go kind of Christmassy here all of a sudden? What a way of bringing it back to the original key there. Just kind of like slide it back in. What? It's also, NMIXX have done a song in 3 before, right? 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. I'm trying to think back on the discography. I'm sure they've done a song in 3 before. But I think a song in 3 is super slept on. Is that how they're gonna end it? Wow. Ocean is really pretty. And I think it's a perfect way to end what is, honestly, I don't think it's kind of that hot opinion or like weird to say, this is a weird album. This is a really out there album. Ocean feels like such a nice, gentle way of bringing it back, while still maintaining that weirdness with the switch up in the middle, right? But that switch up in the middle isn't as out there as, you know, the rest of the songs on this album. It gets a little bit brighter, and then the way Haewon slides it down to bring it back to the original key once we get back into the main hook. That is, I need to listen to that again. Like, it's genuinely one of the smoothest key changes I think I've heard from a K-pop song in a hot minute. Oh, not back on. It's that part there. It's the over and over, and then once she goes into 난 너에게 잠겨, it's that 난 너에게 is when the key change happens, but it's so quick and it's so smooth. It almost feels like she slides it down into the next key. Wow, that's very clean. Oh my goodness. Wow. And even though it's a weird out there album, we still got plenty of vocals, but Ocean brought us a lot of really good vocals. And you know what? As like that being one of my favorite things about NMIXX, like being their vocals, I'm very happy with how that album ended. Okay, I need a nap and I need a beer. I'm kidding. I don't need a beer. I'm not much of a drinker, but I need a nap because that album has absolutely knocked like the wind out of me. It's 2 o'clock. I've been listening to NMIXX stuff for like an hour, including the title track now, or at least talking about NMIXX for about an hour. I'm so tired. I got a great night's worth of sleep. I got errands done in the morning. I made a nice hearty lunch. One NMIXX album has absolutely wiped the energy that I had for the day. This is the most amount of brain power I've had to use on a musical album ever. Like, as me talking to camera about K-pop and whatnot, this is the most amount of brain power I've had to use on one single project, and it's not even close. Like, there's no There's no close second. It is NMIXX Fe3O4 Forward. This is one of the most out there, wacky, experimental K-pop albums I have ever listened to. And frankly, I wouldn't have it any other way because this is NMIXX we're talking about here. NMIXX have established themselves as the group that does the weird and the wacky for me. Maybe not like the kind that, you know, we got from like Orange Caramel or we just on Chokome or even FX, like not that kind of weird. And there's other groups that do some kind of out there things. But for me, NMIXX have done the weird and the quirky really well. They have taken the weird and the quirky to unseen levels with this album. And again, on first listen, does it top Fe3O4 Break for me? No. Does it need to? No. Was there a banger B-side on this album? Yes, and it's called High Horse. High Horse, and even Slingshot to an extent, but High Horse for me was just chef's kiss. It was brilliant. And even the title track, like as kind of subdued as it was, I could get on board with it. I just need to listen to it a bit more. But I think across the board, it's weird, but I appreciate the weirdness. I love the production and the care to like detail that has gone into this album. I think this has taken the production levels of NMIXX albums to a new level as well as the weird stuff, right? And I don't know if we're going to get any more Fe3O4 moving forward. Like, I don't know if it's supposed to be a trilogy or if this is going to be something that happens for the foreseeable future with them. But if we get another Fe3O4 album, whether it's, you know, end of this year or right at the beginning of next year, I'm not going to be mad at it because I know it's going to be one of two. I know it's going to be two things. It's going to blow my mind and it's going to be really high quality. And honestly, that's all I can hope for at this point. Maybe a summer banger, like a summer banger single from NMIXX. I wouldn't complain about that either. I feel like we haven't gotten a bright, summery song from NMIXX in a hot minute. So maybe a summer single. I'll take a summer single. But yeah, whatever NMIXX do next, I'm going to be looking forward to. I'm going to be very excited for. But in the meantime, that is going to be it for me today with NMIXX. Thank you all for listening along with me. Hopefully you enjoyed it as much as I did. Or at least, hopefully you aren't as mentally exhausted as I am from having listened to it. Because this one was a doozy of an album to listen to. But, one last request from me today, as per the usual. Let us work together as a community to bring a little bit of extra happiness back into the world, whether it be, you know, checking in with your friends and family, holding the door open for somebody, or even picking up a piece of trash off the street. Just one small act of kindness to brighten up someone else's day to day, and know that wherever you are in the world, should you ever be going through a tough time in your life, for whatever reason it may be, even though I'm just some guy on the internet who waffles about music in his free time, know that I will always be a friend, ally, and a shoulder to lean on whenever you need me. So take care of yourselves, take care of each other, spread the love, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.